Did you know the hidden dangers of certain butters that many men consume every single day and how they affect prostate health? Most people use them without thinking, but in reality, they can fuel inflammation, disrupt hormones, and make prostate problems worse. And what's most alarming is that one of these butters is probably sitting right now in your refrigerator. You might be eating it regularly without realizing how silently it harms your prostate. In this video, we're going to reveal 5 butters that are extremely harmful for your prostate, ranked from the least dangerous to the most destructive. And trust me, number 1 will shock you because it's still considered by many as a normal, everyday choice. Stay with me until the end, because not only will you discover the worst butter for your prostate, but I'll also give you a simple tip on what to use instead without sacrificing taste. Before we dive into the list, if you enjoy these kinds of health tips and want to naturally protect your prostate, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends. Every action helps, and thanks to you, our community of health-conscious men keeps growing stronger. Together, we can help more people understand their health and live longer, fuller lives. Now tell me in the comments, what type of butter do you use most often at home? You might be surprised to find out it's on today's blacklist. Let's start with something that many people consider harmless: peanut butter. At first glance, it looks like a healthy spread, full of protein, fiber, and energy. In its purest form, made only from ground peanuts, it can actually be good for you. But here's the problem. Most peanut butters on supermarket shelves are far from natural. They're industrial products filled with hidden ingredients that can quietly damage your prostate health. One of the biggest issues is the high level of salt. To make peanut butter taste better and last longer, companies often add a lot of sodium. This extra salt causes water retention, and it raises blood pressure. For men with prostate problems, this is especially harmful. An enlarged prostate already makes urination difficult, and when your body holds on to more water, the symptoms get worse. Many men notice they wake up more often at night to urinate. Excess sodium only intensifies that discomfort. The second hidden danger is sugar. Manufacturers often add sugar to make the spread sweeter and more addictive. But sugar triggers weight gain, insulin spikes, and chronic inflammation. And research shows that inflammation is one of the main drivers behind prostate enlargement. So while you might think you're eating a simple snack, you're actually feeding the very process that puts more stress on your prostate. And then comes the most dangerous part: hydrogenated oils. These are added to improve the texture and prevent the peanut butter from separating. But hydrogenated oils create trans fats, and trans fats are some of the most toxic fats you can eat. They increase bad LDL cholesterol, lower good HDL cholesterol, and create systemic inflammation. Even worse, they disturb hormonal balance, and since the prostate is extremely sensitive to hormonal changes, this disruption can directly fuel its growth. So, while peanut butter might not sound like a big deal, the industrial versions with sugar, salt, and hydrogenated oils are quietly harming your health. If you love peanut butter, the safe option is simple. Choose natural brands that contain only peanuts. No sugar, no salt, no added oils. That way you still get the nutrients, without the hidden risks. This is why peanut butter takes the 5th spot on our list. But if you think this is bad, wait until you see what's next. Because the 4th worst butter is one you may be spreading on your bread right now. And the dangers go far beyond just sugar and salt. Let's move on to the 4th spot on our list: margarine, and industrial spreads made with hydrogenated oils. At first glance, these products are marketed as a healthier alternative to butter. You've probably seen labels that say light, cholesterol-free, or heart-friendly, but the truth is, many of these margarines are hiding something far worse than regular butter. The biggest danger here comes from hydrogenation. This is the industrial process that turns liquid vegetable oils into solid fat, so the spread looks smooth and stable. But during this process, something toxic is created: trans fats. And trans fats are a nightmare for your health, especially for your prostate. Trans fats don't just raise your bad LDL cholesterol. They also lower your good HDL cholesterol at the same time. That means your arteries become more vulnerable to blockages, and your circulation suffers. For the prostate, which depends on healthy blood flow and hormonal balance, this is a direct attack. But it doesn't stop there. Trans fats fuel chronic inflammation all over the body. They confuse your immune system, they stress your cells, and they throw your hormones out of balance. And because the prostate is a hormone-sensitive gland, even a small disruption in balance can make it swell, harden, and become more symptomatic over time. To make matters worse, many industrial margarines contain additives, artificial flavors, and preservatives that add to the body's toxic load. Instead of nourishing your body, they create more work for your liver, your arteries, and yes, your prostate. Think about it for a moment. You might spread margarine on your bread every morning, believing it's a safer choice than traditional butter. But in reality, each spoonful could be pushing your prostate toward more inflammation and discomfort. That's why experts recommend avoiding any spread that contains the words partially hydrogenated oils on the label. If you truly want a spread, a better option is to choose natural nut butters made only with nuts, or even small amounts of olive oil-based spreads. These contain healthy fats that support circulation and reduce inflammation, instead of making things worse. And this is why industrial margarines and hydrogenated spreads take the 4th spot on our list. But if you think trans fats sound dangerous, the next butter might surprise you even more. Because it's often seen as natural and trendy, yet its high-fat content can silently overload your system and put even more stress on your prostate. Now let's move to the 3rd spot on our list: coconut butter and coconut oil. At first, this one may surprise you. Coconut products are often promoted as superfoods. They're trendy, they look natural, and many people believe they are the ultimate healthy fat. But here's the reality. When consumed in excess, coconut butter and coconut oil can become a hidden threat to your prostate health. Why? The main reason is their extremely high content of saturated fats. In fact, more than 80% of the fat in coconut oil is saturated. That's far higher than in most animal butters. And when your diet is overloaded with saturated fats, your cholesterol, especially LDL cholesterol, tends to rise. High LDL is not only bad for your heart, it's also linked to prostate problems. Poor circulation and higher cholesterol levels make it harder for your prostate tissues to stay healthy. Another concern is inflammation. While small amounts of coconut oil might not cause immediate harm, regular and heavy use creates a constant inflammatory environment inside your body. And as we've seen before, chronic inflammation is one of the key drivers behind prostate enlargement and discomfort. But there's more. Excess saturated fat can also interfere with your hormone metabolism. Remember, the prostate is highly sensitive to hormones. especially testosterone and its derivatives. When your body processes too much saturated fat, hormone regulation becomes less stable. That instability can trigger faster prostate growth, more swelling, and more frequent urinary symptoms. Now, to be clear, coconut oil is not pure poison. In moderation, it can be part of a balanced diet. The problem arises when people replace other oils with coconut oil and use it every day, in large amounts, believing it's a miracle food. The truth is, moderation is key, and overconsumption is what turns coconut butter into a hidden enemy for your prostate. If you enjoy coconut flavor, use it sparingly. Or better yet, rotate with healthier oils like extra virgin olive oil, which is proven to reduce inflammation and protect both your heart and your prostate. This is why coconut butter takes the third place on our list. But don't go anywhere, because the second worst butter is even more dangerous. It's cheap, it's everywhere, and it's been linked to hormonal imbalance and serious inflammation. And chances are, you've already eaten it this week without realizing the damage it may be causing. Now let's move to the second spot on our list: palm butter and palm oil. This one is especially concerning because it's so widely used in processed foods. You may not even realize how often you consume it. Palm oil is in cookies, pastries, margarine blends, instant noodles, spreads, even in some chocolates. It's cheap, it's easy to produce, and that's why food companies love it. But for your prostate, it can be a silent enemy. Palm oil is extremely rich in saturated fats. Just like coconut oil, it pushes up LDL cholesterol, clogs your arteries, and creates an environment where inflammation thrives. But palm oil is even more problematic. Why? Because it often comes in highly refined forms. During processing, valuable antioxidants are stripped away, leaving behind a dense fat that's heavy, inflammatory, and stressful for your body to digest. Another problem is its impact on hormones. Studies suggest that diets high in palm oil can disrupt hormonal balance, especially in men. Since the prostate is highly hormone sensitive, this kind of imbalance can directly accelerate prostate growth. In simple terms, the more palm oil you consume, the greater the risk of your prostate becoming swollen and difficult to manage. And let's not forget the inflammatory factor. Palm oil doesn't just affect cholesterol. It also fuels systemic inflammation, especially when combined with other processed ingredients like refined sugar, white flour, and artificial additives. For men over 50, who are already at higher risk for prostate enlargement, this combination is a recipe for trouble. The tricky part is how invisible palm oil is. You may think you're avoiding it, but unless you carefully read food labels, it sneaks into your diet almost daily. That's why so many men unknowingly put stress on their prostate without realizing it. What's the alternative? Stick to natural oils like extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or small amounts of real butter in moderation. These choices provide healthier fats, better circulation, and less hormonal disturbance. And this is why palm butter and palm oil take the second spot on our list. But here's the real shocker. The number one worst butter for your prostate is not exotic, not hidden, and not trendy. In fact, it's the most traditional one, the butter many of us grew up with, spread on bread every morning. Stay with me, because this last one is the most dangerous of them all. Finally, we arrive at number one on our list: classic dairy butter. This is the butter many of us grew up with. We spread it on bread in the morning, we use it for cooking, baking, or simply to give flavor to our meals. It feels traditional, familiar, even comforting. But when it comes to prostate health, classic butter can be the most dangerous of them all. The main reason is its very high content of saturated fat. Regular dairy butter is packed with these fats, and when consumed daily, they raise LDL cholesterol and strain your cardiovascular system. But for men over 50, the problem doesn't stop at the heart. High cholesterol and poor circulation also reduce the blood flow needed to keep the prostate healthy and functioning properly. Less circulation means more inflammation, slower healing, and a greater risk of swelling. Another serious issue is chronic inflammation. Diets rich in saturated fat are strongly linked to inflammatory conditions, and inflammation is one of the leading factors behind prostate enlargement. Every time you load your body with butter, you fuel a low-grade fire inside, and that fire often burns right in the prostate. And then there's the hormonal impact. Animal fats can influence hormone metabolism. In particular, they may increase the activity of certain hormones that stimulate prostate growth. Remember, the prostate is a hormone-dependent gland. When those hormones are constantly pushed in the wrong direction, your prostate responds by getting larger and more troublesome. The challenge is that classic butter is so deeply ingrained in daily eating habits. Many people don't even question it. It's there at breakfast, at dinner, in sauces, in pastries, almost everywhere. But that familiarity makes it even more dangerous, because we tend to underestimate the damage it can do when consumed regularly. Does that mean you must avoid butter completely? Not necessarily. Small amounts on special occasions are unlikely to destroy your health. The real problem is daily heavy use. If you want to protect your prostate, replacing butter with healthier options like olive oil, avocado oil, or nut-based spreads is one of the smartest decisions you can make. And this is why classic dairy butter takes the #1 spot on our list. It may look simple, innocent, even natural, but for your prostate it can be a silent enemy. Now that you know the 5 worst butters, stay with me, because in the conclusion I'll share how you can make better choices every single day, and what small changes can protect your prostate for years to come. And there you have it, the 5 worst butters for your prostate. From industrial peanut butters filled with sugar and hydrogenated oils, to margarine loaded with trans fats, to coconut and palm butters that silently fuel inflammation, and finally, the classic dairy butter that so many of us consume every day without realizing the harm. The lesson is simple. What you spread on your bread or what you use in your cooking can make a real difference in how your prostate ages. Every choice you make in the kitchen either protects you or puts you at greater risk of swelling, discomfort, and long-term complications. But here's the good news. You're not powerless. By cutting down on these harmful butters and replacing them with healthier options like olive oil, avocado oil, or natural nut spreads, you can reduce inflammation, balance your hormones, and give your prostate the support it truly needs. Small daily changes add up to powerful long-term results. So now, I want to hear from you. Which of these butters do you use most often at home? And are you ready to swap them out for healthier alternatives? Share your answer in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this information. The more we spread awareness, the more men we can help live stronger, healthier lives after 50.